What's going on YouTube? It's Man on Money Time. I'm back in the building. So today, what we're gonna do today is we're hit the barbershop up. It's gonna be my first cut after 5 weeks of woofing. I'm really excited, and I'm just ready to see how the outcome is gonna look. And I know whoever watched the first couple videos when I first started a few weeks ago, I want to see the outcome too. So what I did this morning was I didn't get a chance to record it, but I went on and washed it. Washed it probably about 3 hours ago. Washed and styled it, and when I put my do-rag on, put my stretch cap on, and rinsed it all out with cold water to seal in the good ingredients of the shampoo that I used. So now I'm gonna just go ahead and show you guys what it's looking like before I hit the barbershop. I feel like it's dry, so I'll probably leave out in about a half an hour to go and hit the barbershop up. But that's what it's looking like right now. This is a washing style about 2 hours ago. I'll let you see the back of it. What it's looking like. I did work on my swirl in the back. I changed the angle of it a little bit to close it up. My bad, I'm lost in this all. But I changed the angle a bit just to close it up, and I'm working on that. But it's looking a little better to me. Just this tight area right up in there. And I'm working on where my crown is. But it's looking a lot better than it did a couple days ago. So I'm gonna go and hit the shop up and come back and let you see what it look like after I'm done. Brush is a little wet. I'm just washing my hair. But I think it's going to turn out good. I'm excited. It's going to be my first cut after putting so much work in on my head. I think right before I get in the chair, I'll go ahead and comb it out. Just comb it with the pattern. And then go ahead and do, I think I'm going to go with a 2. I think I'll do a 2 with the grain. And after this, you guys will see what my cut looks like. Holla at you in about, I'm just going to be in the same video. So see you in a second with a fresh cut. So what's up YouTube? Man on Money Time, we back in the building. Back from the fresh haircut. So, as you see, the environment has changed a little bit. Me and the kids and the wife, we over in Philly right now. My daughter having a gymnastics competition tomorrow. So we at the Hilton Hotel right now. Just having a nice little time. So, went to the barber shop and I got a 1.5 with the grain. And let's just see how it look. Here we go. So this is my first cut. I can't really get that. Let me see. All these lights go off. So y'all just let me know down in the comment section what it looked like. So I had him go ahead and do 1.5 with the grain. And I'm pretty satisfied with it for the most part. I did forget, and now I notice, when y'all go get y'all first haircut after woofing, make sure whatever you get on the rest of your head, make sure you get on your crown one high, because I can tell that in my crown area, it's a shade lighter than the rest of my head. So next time I get my hair cut, I'm gonna be a little bit more prepared, know some things to tell him. So I did make sure I told my barber to comb it out. I did the wash and style method before I went to the barber shop. So once I got to the barber shop, I took my stocking cap off. I let him comb it out so he could see what I was working with. He could see my length. Told him that I wanted a light taper on the sides and in the back. And I showed them my comb pattern. Like I could tell, I let him comb it first. And when he was combing, he really wasn't too sure with what he was doing. So I said, give me 1 second. And I asked him, could I see the comb? So I grabbed the comb and I combed my hair for him. And I went in the pattern that I brushed and the pattern that I combed it so he could actually see how I combed my hair. And then we went back and I brushed it down and I combed it again. So after that, while he was cutting, I could feel him on the top when he was he pulled the brush out. When he started to brush the top, he kind of started brushing forward. So I said, no, you can't brush my hair forward because that's not the way I brush it. So he was getting ready to brush my hair forward and cut it forward because that's what he used to cutting people's hair in that pattern. So once I just let him know, I said, I brush on the angle to the right side. So you got to brush it to the right side and then cut it to the right side. So for the most part, I think he did pretty good with that. And be honest, a couple of those spots I think he could have combed a little bit more. And that way I wouldn't have had, like he patched it just slightly in a couple spots. Wasn't nothing to squawk about because I know it for a fact that it was probably his first time cutting the hair like this. But at the same time, I'm willing to give somebody a chance, just like we all would want somebody to give us a chance. Like I made sure I just let him know some of the things that I wanted done before I sat in his chair. I didn't sit in his chair and not say anything and just let him go all willy-nilly. I did tell him a few steps. The one step I did forget to tell him was to keep my crown a little bit darker than the rest of my hair. As you can see, it's a little bit lighter in this area, right in my crown area. But I mean, for the most part, it's not bad. It's not horrible. And hair always grow back. But I'm pretty satisfied with the cut and the whole. And we can go ahead and do a brush session. So I'm going to do a brush session with you guys. And then we can go ahead and just make sure we keep this thing laying down and keeping it tight. But I think it looked pretty good, guys. You just let me know what you think. For the most part, they kind of spinning. I think I'm getting there. This in 5 weeks. 5 weeks is something new. Whatever you can put your mind to, you put some time in it, you can get it. And that goes with everything in life. Keep that brush. Did you brush today? DYBT. Did you brush today? Because guess what? Mano did. See y'all in 1 second with a brush session. That was with the soft brush. Exactly. Now I'm going with medium. All right, YouTube.